February 17th was a Friday, and we were hoping that you could get permission to come home like Thursday night, and then we would get married Friday. But when you got back and you talked to somebody...
I forgot about that.
They were like, yeah, you can't leave until Friday.
Yeah.
And even then, like, it was sort of sketchy. Like, you were really not supposed to let you leave.
Yeah.
Like, Exodus was a completely different thing. But we'll give you permission.
I forgot about that. That's
and
right.
you can go home, but you can't go home until Friday. So then we had to change our date to Saturday, the 18th. And then those cute photos that we had taken with, like, the numbers in our hands, we couldn't use anymore.
I totally forgot about that. That's funny. Yeah, I thought I had so much more power in training than I did.
In the military.
I always... Yeah, because, I mean, I was able to talk to a lot of people.
He's got some pretty funny stories about being in training.
But, yeah, I just couldn't get out of that, I guess.
Life is full of adventurous twists and turns, including the ones we create through our passions, dreams, desires, and discoveries. In the Life by Sara podcast, join me and my guests as we talk about staying passionate and creative in the middle of all the chaos that is life. Hi, I'm Sara Ann Comte, and this is the Life by Sara podcast. Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, gosh.
This is part
Jumping
two.
right back in.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how we do things around here. You don't dilly-dally. You got to keep going.
What a great word.
It is a great word, actually. So we are doing part two of our story. Excited?
Woo woo. Yeah, of course. I'm excited.
I thought it might be interesting to talk about why I think our story is so
married.
important. Why?
Oh.
His money.
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint.
Why our story is so important? Why would we share our story with everybody?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I think for a number of reasons. I think for posterity. Excuse me. I think one day it's good for Berkeley to know. I mean, we'll probably tell her a bunch of times, but it's good to document your story, I think, for other people. I think, too, there's people that are probably going through similar things that are younger than us that might be like, oh, okay, it's okay. Because I feel like that's happened to us. We look at others and we're like, oh, they've been through similar things, and they're getting through it just fine. They're surviving, and I like to see other people suffer. I'm just kidding. But it's very relatable. I like to see people that are struggling, that have come out of it, that have conquered, and it's nice to see.
So is our love story a struggle?
Isn't every love story a struggle?
It was filled with its interesting challenges. I mean, from the time that we met up until we started dating, like, even that was an interesting experience because neither one of us thought that we would end up together. I liked you, but I was like, too young. And so I didn't even consider it.
Right.
And you've told me before that you never considered it.
Not at all. No.
And then the Lord just sort of...
Zoop.
He knows how to make things work. So we left off... I think we talked a little bit about Thanksgiving and how we went ring shopping. We had the zoo and it was really awesome. And then the next thing was I went back to Michigan and you still had training to do.
Yep.
And we met up again in December. And that was an interesting time for me because I had decided to move back home. So I said goodbye to my brother and his family. And my mom had come out to drive with me all the way back from Michigan to Utah. And you had 2 weeks off. So you were going to be home with your family for 2 weeks, and we had planned to make some things happen. during that time. But it was interesting
Yeah.
because we had originally, when we started talking about marriage, we were like, let's get married in May. And if you're not familiar with Mormon weddings,
Right.
they usually happen pretty quick. I mean, I think a lot of engagements that I see through most people in the world, it's like you get married and you're not planning to or you get engaged and you're not planning to get married for another year,
Right.
at least. But with weddings within our church, we usually tend to have short engagements. And so we had planned that we were going to get engaged and then we were going to get married in May. But when I was on my way back home, I was driving home, you called me, we called and talked to each other. Because this is where I think our habit was established of talking to each other every night. Because while he was in tech school, he called me every night. We Skyped every night. And that's how we stayed in touch. That's how we dated long distance.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, communication
Yeah.
is pretty important. So
We talked about everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny to look back at some of the things that we talked about now, because I think that originally you were planning to become, what is it called? Like a blood doctor or something. What are they called? You were going to do something with blood.
Oh, well, I was thinking about, because I was
Well, you were thinking about radiology.
Initially I went into the military as like an LPN, and then
Later moved over to IT.
Yeah,
That's a whole
that
other
changed.
story, too.
So, hematologist.
Hematologist, yes. I think
Got
at
it.
one time you're thinking radiologist, you're thinking hematologist. So, I mean, we had all these
Just
Different
surrounding medical
thoughts.
something. Yeah.
But yeah, we just talked about like everything, all our plans, all our hopes, our dreams. I mean, a lot of that's changed through the years, but probably for the better. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows where that all would have
Well,
taken us.
you had your dreams too, and then you actually got one done, the book. So
I did
and you
publish one book. I'm still working.
writing.
Trying.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
So yeah, you called and you were like, so I just found out that there are a total of 3 phases of training. And so he was in phase 1, which was at Fort Sam. And that's where he was taking like all these tests, trying to just pass a bunch of medical type tests. And then the next phase of training was going to be at Travis Air Force Base, which is in California. And then you would have your final phase of training in Washington State, which is where you were going to be stationed.
Right.
And so he's like, I don't know when we can get married. It's like, okay, I guess we'll figure this out.
That is one thing that I'm very grateful for over the years, is even from the get-go, I feel like I've never been very good at long-term planning or really knowing like the whole story, I think. And I'm not very good at that. And you are so forgiving and very like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's
very
figure it out.
adventurous. Yeah. And so, because I should have probably known it before I went to basic.
I think you were just you probably knew, and you probably had paperwork talking about it, but you were in this mindset when you first went to basic. It was like, well, I'm just along for the ride. I don't think you were expecting when you joined up to actually get married in the
that's
middle of
probably
all of
true.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to kind of let it happen. That's kind of how I lived my life.
It's just happening.
Yeah. And it's usually, I mean, it's worked out.
We've survived this long.
But yeah, I feel like luckily it did work out. It was good because I found out, again, I should have known, but I found out that there was like other phases and like it was going to take a lot of time. And then coming to the idea of like, well, let's get married in May. And then it was like, well,
I think one time it moved to April, then March. And then finally we were like, okay, maybe we can make it happen President's Day weekend in
it's
February.
so crazy.
So this is December, and we're talking about getting engaged and talking about getting married in February. So that moves us up to you came home, I came home, we got together. I think we spent like almost every day together. And even though I'm trying to remember. Were we planning wedding stuff before we got officially engaged? Because that was like the whole 2 weeks that you were home was basically like, let's figure out wedding stuff.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Because over Skype I had this really rambunctious roommate. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
I forget his name now, but...
Oh, I remember.
Awesome guy.
I remember.
But yeah, I remember that we were talking about marriage before that. And then I
So
came
we were
home
already
for
planning stuff.
Christmas. They called it Exodus, where everyone went home for Christmas. And then Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, I knew he was going to officially propose, but I didn't know when or how. And Christmas Eve, you were like, let's go for a ride. So I think we had been with your family or my family. I don't remember all those specifics. We had been with somebody's family, and then we were like, okay.
We were with my family.
Was it your family?
Yeah. I remember we left.
Well, I went home for a minute, and then you were like, I'll take you home, and then I'll come back and pick you up or something. Or maybe I went home and I had my car.
Another thing about me is I'm not a very good secret keeper.
No. He's really
terrible. I'm a terrible...
He's actually... It's true. Well, and I don't know if it's every secret, but when it comes to me, you don't know how to keep a secret from me. Because you get too excited.
And then you look at me and I'm just like... Yeah, it's not good, but...
So yeah, I went home and then you came and picked me up and we drove up the canyon. This is Payson Canyon, which is where we had that long conversation before you left for basic.
That's right. I kind of wanted to be able to drive back to that spot. And it's past Utah Lake, right? What's
Not
up?
Utah Lake.
What's it called?
Payson Lakes?
Payson Lakes.
Payson Lakes is what's up there. Are you thinking like Maple Dell or?
It's past Payson Lakes.
Okay.
I always forget what's up there.
Utah Lake is like Orem.
That's right. Yeah,
Provo.
yeah. Lincoln Beach is there. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I wanted to drive past Payson Lakes, and there's like this turnoff, and it was snowing so bad, and they had closed it off.
Well, they closed it off every winter, but we just didn't know how far up we could really go.
Yeah.
We went, surprisingly, I think we went up farther than I realized we could.
Yeah.
I mean, people live up there, so they can't close it off past where residences are.
So yeah, got up there, and then I went around. We stopped right before the gate, I think. There's like this little pull-off right before the gate.
Yep. And it was just dark, and it was snowing.
I told her to get out, got on my knee, and proposed. So,
what do you remember about that proposal?
There's some speech in there. I don't know what I said. Love you always.
I don't remember what you said
your dreams
either.
Will come
I think
true.
at one point I was like, I'm really cold. I just want him to propose already.
I was so nervous. I was like, you're beautiful.
And I said yes.
Thankfully.
I did say yes. This is the ring. So it was just this piece right here, if you're watching it. And then the other piece is what he gave me when we got married. The engagement ring and then the wedding ring band. I don't know how it all works, but it worked. I have a ring.
It was good. It was great. And then we went back to my parents' house, told everyone was excited and happy. And
my parents were asleep, but I woke them up.
Yeah.
And then we spent basically the rest of the time you were there figuring out, because we had decided we're getting married President's Day weekend. We had your brother take photos for us, so we had gone shopping to get clothes for the photo shoot, for our engagements. We had decided what we were going to do for our invites.
Cake.
We got your tux rented. The cake we hadn't figured out yet, because I had to go talk to somebody by myself about this. Like this lady in his ward, in his neighborhood, who he knew did cakes, and he's like, we should get her because she's so sweet, but she didn't speak any English, and I had to go there by myself, and I don't know any Spanish, so it was extremely awkward.
Yeah. We did, what else did we plan then? I don't remember. I don't think we had the venue in mind, did we?
Yeah, we just did our church.
That's right.
Yeah. where we had the singles ward, we're like, it's perfect. We'll just do it singles ward. But we
And then just all the merry stuff, all the
and this is where
we
went to the county clerk because you have to figure out marriage license, and we're like, well, this is the only time we're going to be together, and you have to be together to get your marriage license certificate. So we went, and they were like, yeah, you can't get it because you have to do it within the month that you're getting married. And it was 2 months before. And so we're like, well, what do we do? And luckily they were so nice. She's like, I have this phone number that you have to call. And there's this guy who works with military people. And he will probably work with you, but you have to call and talk to him. So she gave me this number that I had to call sometime after you left, I think, because everybody was on holiday stuff.
That's another thing. There's a lot of things coming out, I think, in this episode, but another thing about our marriage is, unfortunately, a lot of times I'm gone, and Sarah has to deal with, like, all the aftermath, and I feel so bad, because I feel like I have to go, I deploy, or I went, somewhere else, or I have to go, work somewhere, and she follows, and she has to, like, make these phone calls and make all these arrangements and make sure, and I'm like, just working. I'm like,
just working.
Hope it's okay back there.
So but we figured it out somehow. Yeah. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
About myself and about the way a lot of things work.
Well, and I really trust you. I trusted you, to do all that, so I knew you could do it.
That's good. You married me for my secretarial work. Huh?
Oh, no. I'm like, I need someone that's very good at keeping my life in order. So, and I found the right person. But yeah, so it got set up.
And you went back to Texas?
Yep.
And when you got back to Texas, we had these, part of our photos, we had taken pictures with the date. And I think we originally were going to get married like the Monday. I don't remember. It was going to be February something. But then I think we were going to do it February 17th. But February 17th was a Friday, and we were hoping that you could get permission to come home like Thursday night, and then we would get married Friday. But when you got back and you talked to somebody...
I forgot about that.
They were like, yeah, you can't leave until Friday.
Yeah.
And even then, like, it was sort of sketchy. Like, you were really not supposed to let you leave. Yeah. Like, Exodus was a completely different thing. But we'll give you permission.
I forgot about that.
That's and right. You can go home, but you can't go home until Friday. So then we had to change our date to Saturday, the 18th. And then those cute photos that we had taken with, like, the numbers in our hands, we couldn't use anymore.
I totally forgot about that. That's funny. Yeah, I thought I had so much more power in training than I did.
In the military.
I always... Yeah, because, I was able to talk to a lot of people. He's got some
pretty funny stories about being in training.
But, yeah, I just couldn't get out of that, I guess. But, yeah. Yeah, there's some good times. I really tried to talk myself into some things, but...
I mean, you did talk yourself into leaving, so
That's
did
true.
That much.
Yeah.
So then we would plan stuff over Skype, and I would try to organize as much as I could. I got, like, all our invites sent out. Some people were very confused by how we did our invites, and I think some got thrown in the trash. And I learned a lot about invitations because we had done those yellow envelopes that were really cool that opened from the side instead of the top.
Oh, yeah.
And I had put this cool stamp on them because we had decided to do like this vintage traveling theme for our wedding. And so I had these stamps that I put on them that were like a city skyline. And then on the inside, we had done like just a long rectangle strip that had all our information about our wedding. And then our photos were actually a strip. I made them look like...
Oh, like the photo booth.
Like a photo booth printout is what I had made them look like. And my grandma had said that she almost threw it away because she thought that it was like scam mail or something. Spam.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
that's funny.
Not sure how many things actually got thrown away.
We did have quite a few people show up.
We had a lot of people show up, and it was crazy. So I had another crazy thing is we had planned the wedding shower, and my sisters and your sister worked on it together.
Mm.
But like a few days before that, my grandfather died.
Oh, that's right.
It was
I always forget that.
So crazy. And we're like, well, what should we do? And my mom's like, keep it this day, and we'll just have the wedding shower right after the funeral because family will be here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, we went like in the morning, we went to my grandfather's funeral, and then afterwards everybody showed up for the wedding shower. And
might have been good though to kind of
I think the reason was like if they didn't, because everybody had to come in for my grandpa's funeral, if we had done it a different day, we wouldn't have had as many people show up. And
that makes sense.
But yeah. And then you flew home. So Friday night comes.
Another crazy thing.
And it's the night before our wedding. And I'm like, okay, Scott is supposed to get in tonight. And, come back to the clerk story for a second. Because I had called the clerk and made arrangements. And these were crazy arrangements. Because usually you have your marriage license all ready to go. Days, maybe weeks, a couple weeks before you get married. But he's like, I will show up at the temple, the Provo temple, not the Provo City Center temple. It's the other one that I think they're changing the name to because they're refacing it. I can't remember what they're going to change it. Anyway, it was called the Provo temple at the time. We got married in the Provo temple. We were going to get married in the Salt Lake temple, and then we were going to get married in the Timpanogos temple, and then we settled on Provo temple, which is all fine, but I wanted to get married originally in the Salt Lake temple because that's where my parents and my grandparents on both sides got married, and then we were like, for some reason it wasn't going to work out, and then we tried the Timpanogos temple, and for some reason that didn't work out, and I don't remember the reason.
I forget too. Maybe scheduling.
That
because Salt Lake's pretty...
Yeah.
It gets pretty full.
That's true.
But I forget what happened.
I don't remember. And I think it was like about how many people you could have. And there was a whole thing to it. So then he's like, I will show up at the temple, outside the temple, and you both need to be there at this time. And so like, okay, we're going to make this work. So night before, we're waiting. I'm just waiting for Scott to call me and tell me that he's landed, that he's here. So that I know, hey, this wedding is actually going to happen. And it's getting late, and it's like midnight, and I'm like, shouldn't his plane have already landed? Is he
okay?
Is he okay? Is he gonna get married? Is he gonna show up? Are we getting married tomorrow?
That's terrible. Why didn't I?
Your plane got there late, and then it took you a minute to call me because I think your dad had showed up, and Todd. So like, that's
I remember it is the three of us. Yeah.
So I'm sure that there was a lot of joking and rambunctious behavior that happened before you took a minute to call me. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's true, though, yeah. When the three of us got together, rambunctiousness.
But then you finally called and it was like, I can go to sleep now.
I'm here. I want to get married. I forget why. I think it was that I just hadn't seen my dad or my brother for a while, and so just talking to them, and then I was like, I should probably text Sarah. And I think that was before like Find Me. And
yep, we didn't have that. Well, I didn't have an iPhone.
Yeah, you can't really track.
I think this is before I got an iPhone. I think at the time I had like a BlackBerry.
Oh, BlackBerry.
Wow. Yeah. 2012. Actually, no, I think the BlackBerry had died. I had a different phone by that point. It was a touchscreen. It was like the first touchscreen I had, but it was not nearly as cool as the iPhone.
What it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, messaged her, and I was like, yeah, I'm good, on my way. And then got home and tried to sleep, and I did, because
And morning came, and I went and picked him up.
Did you? Oh, that's right.
Because I had a car. You did not, because military.
Oh, man.
He did have a car, but he gave it to his mom when he joined the military, which was very sweet.
And then she got in an accident.
Yeah, and lost the car,
so
which is
sad.
Very sad.
Some kid hit her,
That was pretty sad.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you came and picked me up. We drove to the temple.
And the guy was there. He showed up. We signed the papers.
Everything was great.
And we had a marriage license. We were allowed to get married.
Sarah was gorgeous. You were so beautiful. Because your mom made the dress.
My mom made the dress. My mom is an incredible seamstress. Growing up, she made a lot of our dresses and clothes or even refurbished some of them.
Yeah. She did such a good job.
Beautiful dress. And then
gorgeous.
My sister did my hair and makeup.
Yeah. Very pretty. You're naturally beautiful though. I mean, look at this face. Look at her. But yeah, and the ceremony was amazing. It was perfect.
Really awesome.
It was great, I think. I think just the anticipation made it so good. And it was beautiful.
Well, yeah, it was really cool. We got pictures there. His brother and sister-in-law took a lot of the pictures.
Yep. Had fun.
And then we had a reception.
Yep.
Later that night. And we had a ton of people show up. We did pies instead of cake. We did pies from Lionhouse Bakery,
yes. Oh,
which were
so good.
They have amazing pies.
Oh, remember what happened to the leftovers?
We froze a pie because we didn't get any pie that night.
Yeah,
we were too busy. I mean, there was a storm even, and people still showed up.
It was crazy.
There were a lot of people who didn't show up because of the storm. But I mean, it was like we had a line basically the entire
probably
night.
over 100 people. So.
Yeah. And the way we had decorated was kind of cool. It was super fun because we did theme it, and we had put these boxes, like these suitcase boxes.
Like suitcases.
Well, and they came from my when my Uncle Mike and Aunt Andrea got married. They did a destination wedding, but they did a save the date with these boxes, and so we had one, and somehow we were able to. No, that wasn't the boxes, but that's maybe where I got the idea. Their boxes were different. I think I bought the boxes from, like, Michael's or something. And painted them to look more rustic. But then I had worked with people who had traveled or had missions to different countries, and we decorated every table according to a different destination. We had Korea, of course, because of me, and we had Paraguay for you. I had
Florida.
For your sister had Florida, and then from some of your friends I got some stuff. From some of my friends I got some stuff. Your mom from Denmark. What? Rhett Butler, not Rhett Butler. Gordon. Gone with the wind here.
Wait a second. Rhett Butler was at our wedding.
Butler was at our wedding. No, I had gotten some stuff from him. And yeah, so every table was something
just a
different.
few,
We had flags on the tables.
And you know how some people leave messages? Like we had postcards.
Oh yeah,
we did. Write messages.
That
was so cool.
Instead of like a guest book, we did postcards, and I still have them, and it's super fun to go back and read those. And then we did around the room. We had these like little scenes set up of like traveling like benches and signs and just this really cool traveling decor. Super fun. It was fun.
Sarah, she's so good. Very creative.
And we had kind of some vintagey type music playing.
It was cool.
It was fun.
It was really fun.
My mom is very creative, and she helped out with
a
ton of that, like figuring it all out. So
yeah, it was a blast. And just sitting in line a long time.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, we didn't get a pie, so we froze it so that we could take it with us when we were together again.
But something happened to it, remember?
It died. We took it with us when we moved to Washington State, and it was in the cooler, and all the ice melted in the cooler.
Oh, that's right. And it got waterlogged. That's right. Yeah. I forgot what happened to it. It was so bad.
It was so sad. It was devastating.
Yeah.
Did you know how people will save like the top
yeah.
tier of the cake for their anniversary? I think our plan was to save that pie.
Nope. Didn't even last like a week.
which was the opposite of our marriage. It was not foretelling things to come.
Nope.
And then we went to Anniversary Inn for the night, well, for the weekend. And then you flew home that Monday. Yeah. So it was like a Saturday we got married. We were together for a few days, and then you flew home that Monday. I took him to the airport, said goodbye,
See ya.
and went back to my parents' house.
And then we met back up in California.
Yeah, so I think you had like 3 or 4 more weeks of training.
3. It was 3 weeks.
And then your next phase was in California. So they, of course, took care of all that. And then I met you in California, and I stayed in what are they called? It's a hotel, extended stay hotel for like a month and a half.
Crazy.
That was our first few months of marriage, was being together but not really together.
Yeah.
We're married, but it was interesting because he had a room on base because they didn't have him. Your paperwork didn't say you were married yet. Plus you were training, and nobody else brings their wife to training.
Yeah.
Or husband, I guess. But
yeah, you had to. I think you could if you were like legally married before you went to training or something like that. I just couldn't leave. I couldn't stay with you. But I would sneak off anyway. I'd go off base and be with you.
yeah.
So I think it's been long enough that I won't lose
They
my
knew.
clearance or something.
He totally knew.
That's true. Yeah. I talked to the... Was it a girl? I forget who it was.
I thought it was a guy.
Maybe it was a guy. Who was that guy?
I mean, you could go off base. There was nobody. Was
Yeah,
there. It was
that's
just,
true.
Oh, that was kind of funny. One night he calls me at like midnight because he had to work nights a couple times at the hospital.
Were we in the ER, I think?
I think you were. And you were like, hey, we're all really hungry. Will you go to Jack in the Box and pick up some food for us? And I was like, okay. I think I had even just like fallen asleep. Like, this is how much I love you. I was already asleep, and I was like, okay.
Very, very good.
So I went to Jack in the Box, and it was a little scary because there was somebody standing in the drive-thru. It was weird, and it was like, locked door.
Yes.
Windows rolled up. And I drove past him. It was, anyway. And then I had to figure out where you were on base. That was a whole thing. You gave me instructions, and I was like, I hope I can find this.
Help.
I did. I did find it.
Yeah.
And you got your food, and I went back home and slept.
That was awesome. I think that was the only time I asked you, because I was like, yeah, that was probably weird. I probably shouldn't do that. So
we had fun, though, in California. We went to the Golden Gate Bridge, because Travis isn't too far from... It's close to Sacramento, and it's close to San Francisco.
That's right.
And so we tried to do a couple things in Sacramento, but it just didn't seem like there was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So when we did stuff, it was usually in San Francisco. One time we walked. We just walked. I don't remember why, but you remember those hills in San Francisco? We went on a walk through Chinatown, and then like...
Why did we do that?
I don't remember, but it was...
We went
steep.
We
did Alcatraz.
Pier 49.
Yeah, we did do Pier 49.
That was cool. That was we
really
went down
cool.
by the piers, and that was cool.
We met Daryl.
That's so good. Where was that?
We had just gotten to San Francisco, and we went to
a
place called like Lori's. It was like a little diner.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, this is great. It's my mom's name. It's my mom's diner.
It was like an old-timey diner. Yeah.
It was super cute. And I think it was pretty good food. And we had just come out, and this guy came up to us and told us this whole story. Like, hi, my name's Daryl. He says it. Homeless. He has a pretty good script, very well memorized.
I'm homeless. I need some money for the bus or something. And whatever.
We were nice because
we're nice people. We're generous.
And we're also pretty ignorant of San Francisco at the time. So we gave him $5. And then we walked across the street, like kitty corner. And he came up to us again. Hi, my name is Daryl. Scott's like, Daryl, it's us. We just talked. It's us. Remember us?
Oh, that was so funny. He had no idea.
No.
He was like...
I don't think he was all there. I think something was a little off with him.
Sure.
Well, because he seemed kind of very confused. He's like, "Huh? I know you? What?" He was very confused.
That's true. We also went to Muir Woods.
Yeah, that was really cool.
We
went to the Winchester house.
Yes.
Which is that's
bizarre.
a really cool place to see. We actually went to a lot of places. We were only in California for like a month and a half.
We loved getting out.
And then after California, it was time to go to Washington.
Yep. State.
And we had bought a couple things while we were there. We bought like a DVD player so we could play DVDs in our hotel room.
A printer.
And a printer because I don't remember why we needed to print stuff.
I think you did.
Maybe
for work.
I might have been for work.
Something
Luckily,
like that.
I was working for a job that allowed me to do all this at the time. Like, so yeah, I was still working. It was a weird job. It was such a weird job.
But it was a job.
I didn't know what I was doing, and like I was trying really hard to be like I was getting paid a salary, but I didn't feel like they were giving me a lot of work to do, and I was trying really hard to be honest and feel like I was doing something to make the money that I was getting.
Right.
It was an odd job. And then what? Oh yeah, we went to
Yeah.
So we
had to pack
up. It
up.
was time to go, and I had a little Subaru Impreza. And we packed all of his stuff up in the car, all of my stuff up in the car, and then one of your buddies was like, "Hey, can you take me to the airport?" And we're like, yes. So we shoved him in there. We have a great picture of this too. We shoved him in the car and threw his stuff on him. So he's like in the car with stuff on top of him. And we drove him to the airport, dropped him off, and then we drove all the way up to Washington State.
Yep. Yeah, in basic, you get a big green duffel bag, and you just shove all your stuff in there. And he just had that stuffed full, and it was just on his lap, like just almost covering him. Luke Rayome.
I do remember the name.
Good guy.
I didn't know his name was Luke, though.
If you're out there, Luke, and you're listening to this, reach out. He was awesome. I really liked Luke.
You had some really cool guys in that training.
There was good people.
There were some really good people in that.
Yeah, very, very funny.
I remember still the one guy who basically told us that his dad was a mafia leader. He owned a pizza place in New York, New Jersey or New York. I can't remember what. And he was a mafia.
I think New Jersey, yeah. Or Massachusetts.
He also knew how to use the F word very poetically. I'm pretty sure there were like 50 F words in one sentence.
Yeah, he was so funny. He was a funny guy. Yeah, there's a few people, because I went into medical, and there's a few guys that they called it like washing out. They would be in pararescueman school, and then they would drown, a lot of them, or quit. And so they would fall into our classes. So they were like almost special forces. And so they were crazy people. They were just the craziest. But they were super cool. Very good people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so packed it all up and then...
Went to Washington State. We looked for an apartment over just a couple days. And then we went to the airport, left our car, because we couldn't get into an apartment yet. We had one we were going to get into. But we had to wait like a week before we could get into it. So we left our car at the airport with all our stuff, flew back to Utah and I got a U-Haul with all of the stuff from our wedding, all of the stuff that I had. And I had gotten a few things. Well, some of the stuff I had gotten, my grandpa had just died, so I had gotten like a couch and some things from his house.
But I feel like you had a few other things that were like, you had dishes I guess we did get a lot from our wedding.
We got the dishes were all from our wedding.
I just feel like all I brought was like...
I brought like a dresser. I brought 2 dressers. And that was funny that I brought 2, but like we got the couch from my grandpa. We got One dresser was my parents', and they're like, here, you can have another dresser. I'm sure you can put stuff in it. And we had a dresser that was already mine anyway. I had a bed because I had lived by myself.
Yeah, that's right.
So it wasn't... And then I had bought a table before we got married. Because
that's right.
I was like, hey, this is a great table. Let's get it. And you're like, cool, yeah, let's get it. So I bought a table at like a pretty good price.
So Overstock?
No, it was R.C. Willey's warehouse that they used to have in Provo.
But yeah, I had like a DI Lazy Boy that I'd gotten for like my 16th birthday or something.
We didn't take that with us. I think we left it.
So not even that. I had a TV and my Xbox and a garbage bag of clothes.
You brought a TV though. I didn't have a TV.
That's true. I mean, but if you've ever seen Tommy Boy, that was kind of my stuff. Just this like taped up bag of clothes and an Xbox and a TV, and I was like,
that's all you need.
This is marriage. It's great.
And then we took the U-Haul back to Washington State.
Yep.
And got into our apartment.
Did my dad come with us?
No, your dad came out when we were moving back to Utah. So that's basically like our first little bit of marriage.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I feel like it was a sign of things yet to come. Because, I mean, you think about how crazy that was for it just to be like, okay, we're leaving our car at the airport and flying home, and hopefully it's there when we get back.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I mentioned that kind of early in the episode, is that it's not that we've just not planned things, but it's more of like we set a goal and we know kind of where we're headed, and the rest we really rely on God and each other.
I think though a lot of times we will set a goal, like we're gonna live here for so long. I mean, that's when we lived in Washington State. I was like, we're gonna be here for at least 4 to 6 years. I kept saying that we're gonna be here in Washington State for at least 4 to 6 years. And then one day I went to church and felt like, no, you need to move back to Utah. And I was like, okay. And it was pretty strong. And I told you, and you're like, okay, I guess we better do it. And we made plans and we moved back to Utah. And that's where you switched your career in the military.
Yeah.
It's something different. Everybody's like, oh, MO. And I'm like, well, they don't call it MO in Air Force. And I can never remember what they call it in Air Force. AFSC.
Yeah. MOS and Army and Marines, they don't really do anything.
They have to have
I'm just kidding.
Acronyms.
I don't know what they do. They love their acronyms.
And then, yeah.
So yeah, that is funny that a lot of times we do make plans and then it's like, yeah, forget those. Do this instead. And it's like, well, that seems...
You think we would stop. You think we would stop saying like, this is it. This is our forever house. We're staying here. No.
Well, we're very, we're hopeless romantics.
I guess.
Eternal optimists. So it's like, this is it. We're doing this. We're doing great. And then it's like, nope. And don't ask us about now. So, because I don't want to spill.
It'll all come out probably in the next couple months, what's going on now. So stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have a lot to share.
Probably. Yeah. But if you had to change one thing, what would it be?
About like our marriage, or
about
the last 14 years?
Last 14 years. How about this? What's like biggest regret? Put you on the spot. And biggest victory, maybe.
Okay. Well, I think this is interesting. They're not about our marriage, but they're about like our time together, I guess. So because it's been insane. No. Well, because like I think about the last 14 years, and there are two major things that I wish I had done differently. One, I wish I had quit my job, my last corporate job, a lot sooner before it got so bad, because my anxiety got so bad that by the time I did quit, it took me months to recover from it. And the other one is when we were going through all of our hardships and trials in Missouri, I wish I had handled it differently. Mentally. I wish I had responded. Well, I wish I had responded with more faith.
That was a hard time, though. And I guess that's a different episode, maybe. But, yeah, those were interesting times.
What would
in Missouri.
What would you do differently?
I think, I mean, there's a few. I try not to live with regrets, of course. But I think the one thing that I wish I could, and maybe that's a better way of saying it. What's one thing you could tell your past self, right? And I think for me, it would be to work on getting your bachelor's quicker. I just barely got it, which is awesome.
He is doing it. He just applied for graduation this Saturday, so it's happening. See, you tried though, and so I never feel horrible about it because I remember you got your associates pretty quick. But you also, when we first got married, you weren't going to do that. You were going to go into culinary arts school, so you got your certification there, which was awesome. Yeah, and I still think that's such a huge feat and accomplishment that you have that. And then military, you ended up going back to training. Yeah. But you did get your associates, which was awesome. And then after that, it seemed like you were trying really hard to get into a bachelor's program, but all these other things kept coming up. Like, I remember when you were in Afghanistan, you were like, okay, I'm going to do it. And it was like, you just couldn't connect with anybody to get started in the program. So things just came up. And then this is crazy. The last 3 years, we have moved. Well, since what, you started the program in 22, I think.
Yeah, that's
22 or 23. And like over the last few years, how many times have we moved? We moved back to Missouri, but to my parents' house, and then back to our house, and then here. But you lived here with someone, and then we had to move out of our house, and then we had to move here. You've had a few different jobs during that time. It's been insane. So yeah. It's a huge accomplishment.
But I guess, and that's the thing is, I do feel like I regret it still though, and I think this just shows such a good picture of who you are though, because you are so supportive, Sarah. You're a very good wife because you're always like, it's, there's these outside things, and we've talked about that where we're our worst critics, and so I always feel like so bad, and then I talk to you and you're like, oh, you're doing great, and there's just a lot going on, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, and I get that. And then, but I think our greatest,
a lot going on. There's still a lot going on.
There still is, yeah. I think my biggest joy is Berkeley, of course.
Yes.
Just waiting so long, and then she just poof happened, and it was awesome. And then she's just been awesome to have.
A funny side note, so this week we've been studying about Sarah and Abraham and their infertility journey, and then I think this next week we're getting into a little bit of Rebecca and her infertility, and then we've been reading this book that we got from his mom called Bible Stories for LDS Families or something like that. And it was a story of Hannah. Samuel, the prophet, but Hannah. It was his mother. She went through her infertility journey, and then she was like, Lord, if you give me a baby, I will give him to you. I was like, there's a lot of infertility in the scriptures, because there's those three, but then you also have John the Baptist's mother went through infertility for years. I'm like, I don't know, very interesting. So,
anyway,
it happens. It's been happening for years. Anyway, that is that's our story, and it continues. I mean, there's still so much going on all the time, but I thought it would be really fun to share our story because it's I think our story is unique and it's beautiful, and it's whenever we tell people about how we got married and then he left and then I met up with him in California and then we drove to Washington, everybody's always like, huh? And I'm like, well, let me just wait until you hear the rest of our life and everything that's been going on the last 14 years, because it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. One time we thought we were going to move to Germany, and that was a whole thing. Yeah. So I don't know if we're adventurous or just glutton for punishment. I'm not really sure, but we're still going. We're still going strong, and we continued the whole Skype thing. Like I talked, I mean, he was in Kuwait and then Afghanistan, and for a total of 2 years between the two of those things, and we just continue to work on our marriage any way we can, even if we're not technically together.
Close, yeah,
but
close in proximity.
But it's been an awesome 14 years. 15 is going to be even better.
Woo!
I'm pretty happy.
Good.
I'm very happy.
That's good. I'm very happy.
Eternity is going to be incredible. This guy. So. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. I don't do as much there, but I am there. And it's at Sara Ann Comte. Also check out my website at saraancomte.com. I do blog posts throughout the month as well. And go ahead and like and subscribe. Share this with a friend. Maybe somebody else who's like, this is a weird story. I don't know.
That's my marriage.
Who else can relate? Let me know. And thank you so much for watching or listening, whatever you're doing with this. I don't know how to end a podcast. I'm just going to be honest.
This is great. You're doing great. I think that's what you should do is like and subscribe, do all the social things.
The CTAs, the call to actions. I did work in marketing for a few years, but who knows?
You guys know what to do.
Yeah.
Share and just share the love.
Thank you. I really do appreciate you listening and supporting me here. So
that's how you end it.
Yes.
See you
Bye
guys.
now.